morning, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So it's a beautiful November morning. We're gonna pick a little corn this morning, and then we're gonna probably switch to beans this afternoon. So I'm gonna run the 2388 for a little bit. I haven't run it yet this year, either in beans or corn. So I'm gonna get in there and run it for a while while Dad's out checking some beans for moisture. So let's go pick some corn. Alright, let's get started here. Haven't been in this combine for a while. Gotta remember how to run it. Been running the gleaners. Get some of them knocked out. We're down to one combine right now still. I haven't had a chance to fix the hydrostat in L2 number 1. The 1660 suffered rock damage. Still waiting to see what's going on with that. Needs a whole new rotor cage put in it. And that's a big job. Probably going to be done at the dealership. Right now it's the 2388 and the M3. Problem is I don't have a bean head for the M3. I have one for an L2, but the only good L2 I have that's still functional for cleaner heads would be L2 on steel tracks. And so far a bean head won't go on the one on steel tracks because of the way that the tracks are. They stick too far out in front of it and they hit the back of the head. So it's basically just a corn machine when it's got the tracks on it. Oh yeah, I forgot I picked up to here with M3 with the 6-row head. So it leaves me 2 rows to pick with an 8-row. Alright, I'll finish these to the end. Well, how did you enjoy the hopper ride? That was a pretty cool video shot, I thought, after watching it. 8-row head combine fills up pretty quick. The only thing is, I just wish there wasn't so much wind today, because the wind interferes with the sound. I need to check out the new Google Pixel phones because they have a built-in editing tool that'll edit the wind sound out. So might have to upgrade to one of them and try that out. So far this Google Pixel 7a is working really good for being just a video camera. There's no service to it. It's a phone, but I have no service to it. I just use it for strictly video purposes. And it's working really good. It's like having a smart camera with a touchscreen. Well, we're going to cut some beans now. So everything looks good. Things are dried out. So we're going to head over to my sister's, put the bean head on, And then we're going to cut probably the rest of the weekend soybeans if the weather stays fit. Well, I'm actually going to get Dad started cutting beans. I'm going to come back. I'm going to finish filling this semi with the M3, and then I'll go help him in the beans. Because there's no hurry at the elevator right now because they're about full of corn. So George is still waiting in line. So by the time he gets here, we'll be started cutting beans, and then I will be able to get back here and get the rest of the corn on the trailer, so he'll have a full trailer to take. And then the rest of this corn, we'll just finish picking when we have time. morning, everybody. We're on day 2 of this video. So yesterday we did move and we started cutting beans, and we started cutting a lot of little fields to get them out of the way. And I just really didn't get a good chance to video because small fields, moving around a bunch, taking a head on and off, and it wasn't worth videoing. So now we're down at my grandpa's place. We've actually got 2 farms left. We've got Mrs. Dix's, which is on the next road over, and we got my grandpa's farm here. So big fields, not a lot of taking a head on and off to move. So we'll get some video in these fields. Dad just got started this morning. It looks like we got a good amount of dust, so it really didn't get very wet overnight, which was nice. I'm really surprised between November 1st having snow and then having this beautiful weather on November 4th. No snow, no rain, no nothing. Everything's nice and dry. I didn't imagine that this was going to happen. I thought we were going to really be set back on cutting soybeans, but I think we're going to get them done. So we're on the downhill side of it now. So got some nice beans out here. Grandpa's south field has always done pretty good. It's a pretty heavy soil out here. If you watch, I believe it was one of my Throwback Thursday videos, there's actually a video of my dad and I planting soybeans down here when I was like 6 years old. If you're watching that video, he had a John Deere 4850. That's a 4955. He had a 4850 and a 750 no-till John Deere drill. And the barn used to sit there, and in the video you see us putting soybeans in the planter over there on the driveway, and then he comes and he starts in his corner and starts planting this field. So pretty cool video if you ever get a chance to go back and look. Had a viewer ask me my thoughts on the new planter that I got this spring for planting beans, the 1780 30-foot planter with the Maxi-Merge row units. After seeing these soybeans, I'm very happy with the way that planter planted. I watched them all through the growing season, and other than a couple spots where I had planter clutch failure on a couple rows, I had some 30-inch rows in a couple spots. Other than that, I think that planter did beautifully. I really like the results from it. I got a good stand out of it. Looks like I got good seed placement. All around, very happy with that planter. The only problem with that planter, and some people had brought up this point, was that it was heavy. And yes, I did have some problems with it, especially behind the 4640. No-till ground was no issue with that planter at all. It was when I got into the actual moldboard plowed ground from plow day, that's where I had the trouble with it. But out in the corn stalks and no-till, 4640 was perfectly fine, other than a little bit heavy on the drawbar, the opposite way of what you think. It was lifting up on the drawbar a little bit because of the way it sits back when it raises. But the solution to the problem in the plowed ground was to put it behind the 9300, and I know a lot of you enjoyed those videos with that big tractor on that planter. But put it behind that tractor, and I was running 8-9 miles an hour with it. So, wherever I did plant that fast with it, I can't tell the difference between the 5 miles an hour that I was pulling it and bumping it up to 8-9 miles an hour. Still planted beautifully, still happy with it. If I keep running that planter, I've been thinking about putting it behind the old 8650, or possibly finding me like a 9100 or a 9200 articulated to pull that with, or maybe even a bigger front wheel assist John Deere tractor. Maybe find a 4850 or another 4955. Just got to find some options. 4640, like I said, is fine, and I'll probably continue to keep using that until I do find another tractor, as long as we're doing no-till with it. But tilled ground, it gets a little rough. But all in all, I think that planter was a really good purchase. I really like it. I enjoy planting with it. After I got that extendable seed tube for the seed tender, that made all the difference in the world for filling it. So there's a little bit of my thoughts on that planter. I know a few had asked, and I figured I would answer that question. So Anyways, let's get some beans knocked out today. The elevator is a little slow today because they're only dumping in pit 3 for soybeans. So there's been a line. So we'll see what we can get done. So. Done yesterday in Grandpa's, but unfortunately it got tough when it got dark, and as you can see we got quite a bit of fog this morning, and the dew fell pretty heavy last night and it got pretty cold, but that's okay because I need to get caught up on some things. So this morning we're going to grind some feed for the 2 steers. The goats eat it too. I need to get some feed ground. I've been feeding them everything I can find. I ran out of feed like last Wednesday, so I've been feeding them shell corn. I've been feeding them just random ears of corn that I drag home at night, just because I haven't had time to just stop and get some ear corn ground up for them. They've still been fed well, but just not what I usually feed them. So we'll get everything out of the shed that we need. I got to get Guido out with the feed supplement, and we'll get some feed ground up this morning, and then when things dry off, we'll continue on cutting soybeans. Well, I seen a package up by the back door at the house, and I thought, I wonder what that is. So I went up there and looked, and it was addressed to me. My friends at Art Captain Welders sent me a nice pair of new gloves. That was nice of them. Thank you, Art Captain. Check out Art Captain Welders. They've actually got some really good welders. I've got one that I've been using quite a bit here in the shop. Well, I got everything set up. Dad's 720 on the flare box to raise it and pull it around. 620 on the 1150 International feed grinder. Got Guido out here with my feed supplement. All I gotta do is get it off the pallet and dump it in. Pretty nice when you can raise it up so it's waist high. You don't have to bend over and pick the bags up. All right, let's get grinding. Let's make some happy cows. I should say happy steers. We're gonna grind some straw first because that worked really well to keep things mixing up in the feed grinder. Kind of added some fiber, if you want to call it, and made it just mix better. So, and it kept it slick in the bottom, so it emptied out a lot better this last time that I emptied it. So, I was pretty happy with the results. So I'm gonna grind a bale or so here first. box is empty and ready to refill. Well, the fog's gone. Everything looks good. Got dust coming out of the back of the 2388. So I'm going to give it a shot here. See if we can start cutting where I left off last night. We'll see what happens. So, yep, this is where I left off last night. Well, we're taking it nice and easy here. It is a little tough yet. I am hanging the head over about 3 feet just so we're not taking full head. Oh, did you just notice that too? I'm in a John Deere combine. That's kind of weird. Huh. Oh, I know where I'm at. Watch these videos while I cut these beans, and that'll explain why I'm in a John Deere combine. I didn't know if anybody noticed by now that I was in a John Deere combine. So, we'll get back to this in a minute. Well, you're all in for a treat. We're gonna have a John Deere combine cutting beans this afternoon with us. So my buddy Josh, if you remember right, last fall, his 9600 John Deere combine unfortunately burnt. Pretty bad fire. I got a video of it. It's on YouTube here. Well, Josh found out that we're down to one combine since L2 number 1's broke. The hydrostat's still out of it. I just haven't had time with picking corn and everything to get that fixed. Josh called and he's like, I can't pick any corn. It's all too wet moisture-wise. He's like, can I bring my new 9650 John Deere? Well, new to him, not brand new combine. Can I bring the 9650 and come help you guys cut beans and return the favor for you finishing up my corn last fall? He said, I know you guys wouldn't take a dime for helping me out. He says, I really want to come cut some soybeans with the 9650 and return the favor. So Josh is going to be bringing the 9650 and we're going to be cutting some soybeans with it to make up for the L2 being down. So it's going to work out pretty great. And he's also going to bring his semi, so that's going to work out good too. So friends helping friends when friends are in need. You know, it's always a good thing to help your friends because you never know when you're going to need help yourself. So, all right. Keep moving forward here. Let's get something done today. Well, we just about got Josh's combine to my grandpa's place. We're going to make a few adjustments on it to switch it back to soybeans because Josh was picking corn with it. So I got the head behind my truck for it, 25-foot John Deere platform. So it's been a while since I've been around John Deere combine. Pretty excited to get back into one. Just something different. It is a nice combine though. He definitely upgraded. I really like this machine. I'll show you some more video of it when we get to the field. To thank Josh for letting us use his combine. It's really helping with soybean cutting since L2 number 1's down and the 1660's down. Just haven't had time to fix L2 number 1 because when we're not cutting beans, we're picking corn. So the M3's been doing so good that I've just been using it. So I'm actually very satisfied with that M3. Got a few bugs worked out of it and it's been a really good combine. The only complaint I have is it's a little loud in the cab, but I think with a new floor mat in the cab, I think that's going to make a huge difference. And plus, with John Deere Combine, for some videos, it adds some variety to the channel. We've never had John Deere Combine on here. I ran John Deere Combines back in the day. In fact, I ran a brand new 9650 just like this one back in 2004. I think it was 2004. Yeah, it's been a while ago, but I've got some time in them. My uncle and my cousins had one for a while. We ran a lot of corn with it, and cut some beans with it, but done a lot of corn with it. They're nice machines, comfortable cabs. But once you've went gleaner, it's kind of hard to go back. I mean, there's just nothing like a good running old L2. This head, it doesn't seem like it feeds the best, and I'm not exactly sure why. I've tried several different things with it. It doesn't help that the buttons in this hydrostat, sometimes they don't work. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Josh said he's going to get a new controller for it. We took it apart last night, tried to clean some stuff up, and it got it to work a little better. It's kind of intermittent right now, but we got it to work some. Oh, groundhog hole. Oh, and the automatic header control don't work. So that's something I told him I'd help him try to diagnose when we got time. Having automatic header control and making videos really works real nice. They kind of go hand in hand. But all in all, it's a nice machine. I like it. Make Drew Swanson proud of me. Drew from Castonia's John Deere. Look at me, Drew, running a John Deere combine. He's always trying to get me in one. So one adjustment I definitely made on Josh's head here was I changed the pitch of the fingers on the reel so that they have a little more scoop to them when they come towards the auger, because they were really pitched out and it just would not grab at all. They're just, the beans were like just sliding out of them and it wasn't getting them back there into the auger. Definitely helped, but it still gets those like dead spots on a cutter bar where stuff doesn't move momentarily and it piles up. It definitely would help if the header control worked. That way it'd keep the space between the reel and the cutter bar the same at all times, instead of me having to manually do it. Like now it needs to drop like right there, so that makes a big difference. If it'd do it on its own, it'd react quicker than me having to look over and check on the gauge at the end of the head. Well, it's his first season with this combine, so it's all things that just need ironed out. It's things that can be fixed. Just have to figure out what's going on with them. If I knew more about John Deere combines, I'd fix some of that stuff. But I got to educate myself on it before I can do anything, because I'm not real sure how John Deere header control works. I'm used to case and gleaner. Gleaner's pretty simple, it's just micro switches. Another large chunk of the soybeans done. Grandpa's farm is all done. So now we'll move on to Dix's, where we had plow day this spring. Get that wiped out. That's a pretty good sized farm, because that one field alone that we have plow day in is 100 acres. So that'll keep us busy for the rest of today, that's for sure. So hopefully, if the weather holds out, by Monday evening, tomorrow afternoon, we'll be done with soybeans. Fingers crossed. It'd be nice to get done and get back to corn and no more switching back and forth. That would be fantastic. So let's get these dumped and move on to the next field. Combine's definitely got a long unloading auger, but I guess it does only have a 25-foot head on it. So if it had a 30, we would be a little closer to the semi. I don't know why it's got to tell you that the unloading auger is running. I can see it. All in all, this is a really nice combine. Just needs a few things fixed on it, but Josh definitely got him a nice machine here. I don't want anybody to think that I'm coming across as complaining about this machine. It's just stating a few things that I know needs fixed on it. And I'd be more than glad to help Josh fix those things. I just need to first educate myself on how to fix them. Well, we'll finish filling this truck and we'll go to the next field. What Dad's got on his machine will finish filling it. Well, now that we're in the afternoon hours and that sun's been out and the breeze has been blowing, definitely has improved my speed. I'm running along at 4 miles an hour, well 3.9 right now, but definitely has dried things off and made things enjoyable. No crawling anymore today. But it's kind of typical with a rotary machine that at least a little bit of toughness is, you're going to notice it. Now with a cylinder type machine, you can get out there a little sooner. You don't have no rumbling or anything like that. As long as they're shelling out the pods, go for it. I know with the gleaners I can run, you know, an hour later at night than a rotary machine and still do a fairly good job. They all have their advantages and they all have their disadvantages. I like running all of them, rotaries or cylinder type machines. Yep, we're definitely getting some beans knocked out now. Well, Josh is out there cutting. I ran to the elevator and dumped the peat. And Dad followed shortly after with the blue Kenworth. Well, Dad's still gone and I'm back, so I decided to hop into 2388 and I'm going to make a few rounds with it. Get some video in here. Josh is really liking his combine now. They made some adjustments for him. Changed the pitch on them fingers on the reel and that made a big difference. Now it's feeding real nice into the auger. See if we can get, there he is. Alright, I'm going to find me a spot. I'm going to cut all the way across. So this is the plow day field. We did move. So this is the farm that we plowed for plow day last spring. So we plowed this whole place in like 3 hours. Yeah, and then some on the other side of that woods in that little field we plowed. I actually had more hours on the Bobcat loading and unloading plows than we did actually plowing the farm. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Whoever the guy was that planted these beans got really crooked a couple times. I don't know who that was, but hey, there's more beans in a crooked row than there is in a straight one. Got so crooked he even got into his last pass. Look at that. Oh hey, that was me. Whoops. Oh well. I think this is about the spot where I was having trouble pulling it with the 4640, so that's excusable. I can't remember exactly. I think right over there is about where I started pulling it with the 9300 and finished off the rest of the field. And then the other little 35 acres and the 15 I planted with the 9300. So, yeah. Oh, crop flow, but goofy monitor. Alright. Beans must not caught the rain that the corn did. Need to slow that reel down a little bit. There we go, that's better. Put it down a little too. Oh, that's better. The header control works on this head. I think one of of these years we're just gonna go all corn, no soybeans at all. Hate to do that because of rotation purposes, but I don't know. Sometimes I think corn would just be the right way to go. Just do it all corn, and then all we gotta deal is with corn heads. Don't have to switch back and forth. Alright, I'm gonna keep cutting. Well, we had a really good day of cutting beans. Got a lot done today. So I think tomorrow we will be able to finish up. So thank you for watching. Greatly appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed this. And we'll see you all in the next one.